Scotsman. It took me a minute to figure out one of the buttons. Yeah, it's been an interesting weekend. How about we call it that? Yeah, I just learned through looking online in my Google feed that now Elon Musk wants to put somebody in charge of the Treasury who he feels is a disruptor. Issue being with that is that, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. As far as I can tell, a hedge fund billionaire, that's who he wants in charge of the Secretary of Treasury. I find this problematic. But those of you who are apparently unaware of it, I want to say one thing, because I saw it in a TikTok video earlier today, and it was something I already pointed out in my last streaming, in my last live stream. Department of Government Efficiency. That's an acronym for Doge, or Dogecoin. Apparently, that's an Elon Musk run cryptocurrency. And why wouldn't Trump go in it? Because he put a lot of money into it, or Elon Musk did, and then wants everybody else to donate to it or put money into it. And Trump is touting that it's the next big thing when it's not. I keep getting these notifications about the government picks that Trump is doing, and Trump is rewarding the MAGA faithful in Congress, the howler monkeys, and him picking these off-assed people. I mean, everybody's so like, well, we need to shake up business as usual. Okay. Hello, Bob, or Robert, with True Crime Podcast. I already knew you were going to come, but yeah, I just find that letting a billionaire who doesn't know shit about efficient spending, but yet he's going to be in charge of government efficiency, and says he's going to cut at least $2 trillion from spending. Okay, well, as I said before, go the Republicans, especially those who keep voting to get their own pay raised every single session, cut their pay to what it used to be. They shouldn't be living off of what they make in Congress being a part of government. If they're making that much money off of it, then we need term limits, not a bunch of people staying there like Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell and let's see, who on the Republican side? Jim Jordan. There are a bunch I just don't know any of the Republicans' names because I ain't a Republican. I know the Democrats' names because they're more centrist than the right wing is. And yeah, it's just it's infuriating to see all these things happening and to see everybody talking about this, that, and the other. And like, I'm going to make a TikTok, hopefully a TikTok live later today. It's going to cover some of this. I already had to give a history lesson on TikTok earlier today because, no, it was yesterday. Last night, somebody posted about what the earring the pirate wears is for. It's to help pay for the funeral in case they die. No, that's for a gold earring, not for the ones who are wearing them all the time. There's multiple things going on there. But this is the miseducation of TikTok. And, sorry, looking at the TV for the NFL standings. For those of you who don't care, well, That's good for you. I do. So, but anyway, it truly is mystifying how everybody's complaining. I mean, I know a couple of MAGA heads who are, well, we're going to get this, that, and the other done, and they're not getting anything done. Hello, Swamp Rose. Again, yes, remember you from the last live stream. Oh, let me check my phone here, make sure I don't have any additional people trying to join in. Because, yes, I do have more than one fan base here. Yeah, I've got a friend over in England. We have a pretty good time ripping on the dumbasses in government, in our respective governments. And Boris Johnson was, what the fuck was anybody thinking electing him to office? That's like looking at Trump and whenever it's, well, I'm not better off than I was 4 years ago. What I want to know is 4 years ago, does anybody remember where we were 4 years ago? Everything was shut down. Hit the like button or the leg button. That's what I think is funny when people are like, I'm not better off than I was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, everything was closed down. Literally everything was closed down. Essential workers only. And the reason the price of everything the reason the price of everything dropped is because nobody was allowed to go out in person without a fucking mask on and all this other crap. So saying that you're better, saying that you're worse off than you were back then is completely full of shit, considering how many people were out of jobs and money. Like, I never collected unemployment from the shutdown. I was busy watching my kid while my wife was off working because virtual school, and there has to be a parent at home, and just in case there's a question, because what was it, first graders? They didn't trust first graders to accurately work on figure out a computer. So yeah, that's how that went. Oh, let's see. Just checking stuff here, making sure I'm going. Okay, now that I've got some off my chest. Oh, and by the way, I've downloaded some new music. I would suggest you check out more of Nathan Evans of Wellerman fame. He's got some pretty good songs that just came up on YouTube not 6 weeks ago. Really enjoying that. And I'm also getting into more of Patty Gurdy, who uses a hurdy-gurdy to play music. And she's honestly a really good musician. Yeah, she's nice. She's easy on the eyes, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Her musical skill is impressive, because if you can sing and run a hurdy-gurdy while you're doing that, I'd say you know your stuff. But that being said, let me get back in my stuff here. Oh, wow, that's a shocker. Okay. Amazingly, everybody's absent or sleeping or doing whatever. Okay. Robert, are you ready? I have to wait on him to answer. Okay. Let's see if I can do this thing properly. trying to figure this damn thing out here. The topic of this live Swamp Rose is political talk. And I've heard so much misinformation from one side and a little bit from the other. And quite frankly, the hyperbole from the right far outweighs the benefits that they're talking about. If you want to throw up, or if you want to throw up to talk about it, I'm game. That's why I started the video by myself here. Let's see here. I'm trying to get this stuff set up here. So you bear with me, for I am trying actively to get something going here. I'm working on it. What do I think about the two-party system? Flawed, fractured, fucked up. The two-party system is based on popularity contest, and it's a shit show for all of us. Like, I wish that wasn't the case, but it is the case. Let's see. Let's see here. Trying to get this damn thing to work. Okay, here. Sorry, I'm trying to figure crap out here. What do I think about AOC? Try a bit overzealous. A little too much into her own biases. And I think interested in the wrong things, personally. I could be wrong, but that's only my view on it. So I could be biased, I probably am, but that's why it is the way it is. Okay, there you are, Robert, I think. Now I just gotta adjust this damn thing. Device is not connected. Okay, in your opinion, should Puerto Rico have more representation in the U.S. government? Well, that depends. I mean, they're bigger. Almost everybody's bigger than Rhode Island, and Rhode Island has representation, even though they're more like a backyard community to whatever it is. What do I think of the Fed? That's a weird question. What do you mean by what do I think about the Fed? What question did I miss? I will go back and look. If you could direct government spending anywhere, what's the first and second things you would choose? Direct government to spend money anywhere? I would take all the money that the Republicans have borrowed. I would open their bank accounts to the IRS and then transfer all the money from their bank accounts that they've voted to give themselves raises with, return all that money back to Social Security and Medicare or Medicaid, and pay that bank account back for the money that they've taken from it to up their own pay. Then I would take any other access spending that I could find that's needless, because what congressman needs a $5,000 silk suit? Fuck off if you think that's okay. Give them a $250 wool suit. Who gives a shit? Take that money, all that extra excess spending on suits and the 4-bedroom house when you have one fucking kid and a wife. You don't need a 4-bedroom house for that, let alone 2-storied house. Take all that excess money, rip it away from them, put it in the VA. I think that would fix a lot of problems right there. Okay. Adding to stage. Trying to. And apparently the wife's in the background. Hello.
Hey, do me a favor. Mute your YouTube side because you're echoing.
Mute my YouTube. Dude, I don't have YouTube up on my thing. That's a you problem, not a me problem. I don't have YouTube up on my screen, dude. It says StreamYard, search, and then StreamYard Studio. It's the only windows I have open. I can't shut down YouTube from where I'm at because it's not up on my screen. Again, that's a you problem, not a me problem. You have to close down one or the other. Or you mute your YouTube thing from your side. I can't do anything about that. You should already know that. I don't have it up.
So
I don't even.
So what do you? I was going. The transition team. I heard this morning that match might not get.
Hold on. I don't know if it's just me, but you're pinging out really badly. I'm getting like one word out of every 4 you might be saying.
Okay, let me back out and come back in.
Well, that was eventful, wasn't it? Federal Reserve Bank. The Federal Reserve Bank is there for a reason. But the problem is it's been used as the Federal Reserve is being used as a piggy bank and a shit show for people who look to control different things. And those families that use the Reserve Bank to control the economy are shitheads, and they're really old money because they refuse to give that money up. Okay, are you going to ping out on me again?
No, I'm not going to ping out on you again. You like the fireplace behind me?
I honestly thought you were watching football.
No, what I was going to say was I've been hearing most of the morning that Matt Gaetz might not get confirmed, and the only way he would be able to get confirmed is if they use that recess. Basically, he doesn't have to do anything except get confirmed by the Senate.
Okay, I heard that I heard you say Matt Gaetz is going to get his confirmation might get skipped, and you pinged the hell out for like a few seconds.
Okay. a lot of people are saying on Capitol Hill, Matt Gaetz is confirmed he might not get confirmed.
And that's a bad thing. I mean, I think he should have to be confirmed any fucking way, and I think that they should release the report on him because
that's what Dick Durbin over there trying to do. They're trying to get that report.
Yeah, and a bunch of idiots are all like, "Well, we need to do this, that, and the other." No, we don't. Okay, now I got rid of that little post. But yeah, people saying that they need to skip that way Matt Gaetz can be in his position in government. The problem is he still has to pass. He still has to pass scrutiny at some point.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me go back.
There's quite a few Republicans that don't want to see Mike Johnson as Speaker.
Mike Johnson is a horrible Speaker of the House anyway. He's not one of the howler monkeys, so to speak, but he's ultra conservative, and he's all about having that power. And he's even publicly stated that he doesn't care what anybody else, what any other people want. It's what Trump and MAGA wants, period. That's what should fly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm hoping Swamp Rose comes back. I was enjoying the questions because apparently she's not watching anymore because the last time she put up anything was the Federal Reserve Bank. I don't get why everybody asks about the Fed, but...
Well, Jerome Powell stated.
Did what?
Donald Trump. Jerome stating that he.
You're pinging out, dude.
Fire. Stated he's not going anywhere. He would like to see Donald Trump. What to say about that?
If I understood or even knew what the fuck you were talking about the last 30 seconds, I'd answer. But you were pinging out so badly, I only heard like every 10th word coming out of your mouth. Like, Jerome is your internet stuck or something?
He's not going in. No. Jerome Powell stated he's not going anywhere, and he hears Donald Trump.
Dude, my cat didn't even understand what you said.
Jerome Powell.
Jerome Powell
stated.
Palace stated. That's what I'm hearing, dude. I'm not hearing half of what you're saying.
Or can you hear me now?
Do what now?
I said, can you hear me now?
Now? What the hell did you do?
I moved the microphone away.
I don't think it's the microphone's problem.
Jerome Powell stated he dares Donald Trump to try to fire him.
Uh-huh. And he can do all the shit talking he wants. It doesn't make any difference. But if you look at it a certain way, Trump is supposed to be the breath of fresh air. He's supposed to make us realize how good we have it, as opposed to how fucked we are under him.
Now, supposedly, Kamala Harris, because on a veteran shot her a detailed look, but
Is something wrong with your internet, dude? You're picking out so bad. I don't understand what you're saying. All I know is you said Kamala Harris.
Oh, I think it's my freaking mic. I think it's my mic.
So your mic's pinging out and slowing your video down too?
I've got all bar internet.
I'm just telling you you're pinging out. If I can't understand you, I can't respond to what you're talking about, right? And there you paused again. That's a lot of lag time. Hello? Wow, that's a long pause right there. But anyway, time to keep moving. Now, I think about half of the country watched the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, and I haven't seen it yet. But I've heard all kinds of shit about it. Nobody that I really trust with having watched it and giving me an honest opinion of the fight has spoken up yet. Possibly because they were all working, because for some reason everybody wants to be open and doing food service during a big event like that. Well, we'll make a lot of money. Yeah. Why don't the people who don't watch sports of any kind go and do the food service work while these things are happening? Well, I don't want to hear about. Well, tough shit. Anyway, I don't know. Apparently, yeah, I'm not going to give the end of that fight away because I haven't seen it myself yet. I think that most of that hype was for a cash grab. That's just me personally. And yeah, that's like pop culture news. But going back to political stuff, by moving the Department of Government Efficiency out of the actual government, that means that Elon Musk can run it with Vivek Ramaswamy, who are both tech billionaires. Vivek Ramaswamy made his money on being the owner of BioNTech back when COVID hit. So he made his money all on or with the U.S. government, paying his company to come up with vaccines. So, yeah, he got rich off of government funding, and he's enjoying the hell out of that. But I'm guessing Bob had to restart his computer, among other things. And yeah, I'm checking up on stuff on my phone, but yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who Elon Musk said was supposed to be the upstart shaker for all that. Your internet box decided to update. Well, what a surprise there, buddy. I could have told you that when you were bleeping out so bad. My cat didn't even understand what you were saying, so it doesn't make much sense, right? Let's see. What's his name? Howard Lutnick. He's the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald. he is supposed to be Elon's personal preferred pick for Secretary of Treasury, and he said that he'll really shake things up. Yeah, the problem is you have a bunch of billionaire hedge fund style people who got rich very quickly and think they know how to run things because, well, we did this, that, and the other. No, you didn't. Like when Elon Musk tried to devalue X, or Twitter, as it was called back then, because he wanted to know how many actual people were on Twitter, and they didn't want to give him any information on that because I think 3/4 of X or Twitter at that point was bots, and he wanted to eliminate that, and he didn't. He bought it for, billions of dollars. That's on him. Your phone ran out of battery. You're back. Okay, Swamp Rose, I'll forgive you this time. Yeah, that's why I keep this computer is old enough and used enough, so I have to actually keep it plugged in to use it. Like if the power goes out, it has 10 minutes to be back on, or I have to restart this whole damn computer. That's why I don't do podcasts or live streams during thunderstorms. The power goes out, goodbye computer, and you guys are screwed out of that. I know you literally missed most of my answers. I don't know which question you got lost on, Swamp Rose, but I know you had to have heard a few of them because you went silent at 11:44, like right after Federal Reserve Bank. I gave an answer to that, which I can repeat. It's just a pain in the ass to remember what I said. But yeah, up until that point, you were going pretty strong with the questions. So yeah. Now I have 3 people watching me. Yay! Yeah, no, I really don't care about the viewership all that much. I'm so low on the totem pole from podcasters. There are podcasters who just started podcasting who have bigger memberships than me, but then again, apparently YouTube and a couple other platforms don't like me. So they keep on shoving me further and further down the list. Like during COVID, I was at the bottom of the barrel, and I was the only one. I was one of the few podcasters actually throwing out facts. I didn't say that like the vaccines were fake. I said the vaccines are relatively unnecessary unless you're severely old, like 70 plus, or you're very young, meaning under 3 years old. Do you think the elites are doing something weird in Hawaii? You'd have to tell me a little more about the situation for me to comment on that. Now, let's see if he's going to be so blippity now.
Is that better?
I don't know. Is it better? Your video looks better.
Yeah, my freaking internet box decided to do a fucking update.
Why didn't you do that this morning?
I don't control what the internet box fucking does. It does the updates on its fucking own.
You realize that's why you need to restart your stuff every day unless you've got a broke-ass computer like mine. Like, my computer doesn't even give me updates. It just randomly restarts itself. Because there will be times where I go 3 weeks without being on my computer while it's on because obviously I don't want to spend 45 minutes turning it off and then turning it back on. Okay, buying land for pennies after a natural disaster in Hawaii. Do I think the elites are doing something weird? I can answer that, but I've got to put it into context for you. After the Lahaina wildfire, would you call it?
Yeah.
2 billionaires, a man and a woman, both very rich, did a fundraiser And what's even sadder is who the 2 billionaires were who were doing fundraising for the Lahaina fires in Hawaii.
Was it Oprah and The Rock?
Yeah. And you know what happened 2 days later? The backlash was so thunderingly, seismically bad, The Rock backed the fuck off. He deleted his name from that charity and wouldn't do anything else. And Oprah was Oprah literally made a video asking him why he backed out. And apparently he had to explain that billionaires have no right to ask all of us common folk to give any fucking money to something they're not putting a lot of money into themselves. The Rock understood that. That's why he backed off. He let that thing die on its own. And why billionaires, Donald Trump included, would ask any of us for money just means they stay billionaires. They don't spend a dime of their own money. I'm sorry, unless a billionaire comes up and says, I spent $250 million on this charity, please donate a little something too, like $5, good enough. But if they're a billionaire and I'm putting $25,000 into this, I'm saying fuck off.
She goes, Robert, what do you think of our government's response to the latest natural disasters?
I'm guessing those hurricanes.
Hurricane Helene. Now, brother, did you hear that a FEMA worker or FEMA director was fired because she was telling the FEMA workers if they see a house that has a Trump sign out in front, ignore that house.
Have I heard it? Yes. But I've also heard about the backwoods dumbasses who were carrying AK-57s and vowing to shoot any FEMA workers because they're there to take your stuff. And I went ahead and looked up on a few other websites and found out that people were spreading this misinformation. Don't let the FEMA guys come. They'll take your property by force. I was like, yeah, no. AK-47, not 57.
I think what Matt Gaetz is going to do, he's going to be the one that releases all those fucking January 6th rioters.
Again, because he's a howler monkey. He's one of the MAGA 20 howler monkeys. Matt Gaetz is like literally one of the top 5 howler monkeys. So is Elise Stefanik. I mean, how people are blinded is he's rewarding his most loyal lemmings. And when I heard about these backwoods militia guys who are somehow still, when there's no power, no electricity, no gas, no water, no food, they're somehow watching or listening to these podcasts where they're telling people, don't let FEMA in, they will take your land and all this crap. It's like, no, that's not happening. They're there trying to help you. And then the bullshit about, well, they're only going to give you this much money. Those are emergency FEMA funds, you damn retards. Yeah, that's not they're only going to give you that money and then you're dead. No. That's the initial payment for disaster relief. That's meant to get you food, water, possibly gas. The basics. It's not, here's your check, this is all we're ever going to put. No, that's not the case. Whoo! That's a good one for you.
She goes, Robert, what the heck happened?
Oh, I know. What do you think I was laughing about, dude?
Yeah. When Trump got shot, I really don't know. He got grazed? Yeah, and now he's saying that God is the reason why he's alive.
Right. Just like during his RNC speech, I put my hand up to my ear and my hand was covered in blood. But yet, if you look at the photos, when he reached up to his ear, he had a spot of red on one joint of his finger. And according to his story, it his ear was almost blown off, and it somehow magically regenerated like a Deadpool or Wolverine ear and fully formed again. The bullet barely grazed his ear.
Yeah.
Okay, what are some reasonable responses our government can take to respond to the housing crisis? And Swamp Rose, just so you know, they have not made any real conclusion about the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania, because they used it to hype up Trump more, and then they dropped it when he got the popular vote. Just so you know. But what are some reasonable responses our government can take to respond to the housing crisis? Wow, we've actually talked about that, have we not?
Yes, we have.
The housing crisis is more of a problem with, for me, a good half of the problem is the ultra wealthy.
Yeah.
The ultra wealthy take in a lot of money and pay the least amount of taxes, and it's insane. Like, during the shutdown, did you know that Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and all these billionaires, their wealth multiplied 6 times over during the shutdown?
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're already ultra wealthy, and then they become richer because everything's shut down. And now you've got, because of that, when the housing market finally opened back up full blown, corporations had already bought those properties, like huge fucking lots of land.
Yeah.
And they do lipstick fucking makeovers, painting a little bit, making it look nice and pretty. And then when it starts to break down again, it's, oh, that's your problem. It's like, yeah, no, that's not going to work.
Swamp Rose said, Robert, was there money following the Butler, PA incident? Follow-up question here. Could there be a money trail? I don't know. I know they said that there was some encrypted messages on that kid's phone from a overseas email, but we haven't heard anything else about it.
Like I said, it got dropped. It helped his campaign to think that he gave his life for America. That's all it did. That's all it was done. And I think the overseas thing was just, I think that overseas money, because I heard about it for like a quick second, but it disappeared because I think somebody made that up just to hype it up that it was foreign interference. Well, so was Elon Musk. But you don't see him getting thrown out of the campaign, right? Yay, my team has a touchdown.
No, Elon Musk is clearly a Russian operative.
No, he's not Russian. He's Dutch. I don't think he's working for the Russians. I think he's working to become richer than everybody else because he wants more money.
Carl, what are some reasonable responses our government can take to improve our natural environment?
And you get the interesting questions, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Reasonable responses can our government take to improve our natural environment? Pass the Green New fucking Deal. Pass some green energy legislation. Tone down on the fossil fuel industry. It's going to be dead at some point. And every time we ramp up green energy production, it gets stopped because we get a president who's pro-business, pro-oil, and that fucks us because if we had gotten into it the last time we were getting into it, before this era, was back right before 9/11. We were going towards a green energy solution to everything. A lot of research is being done, and then it all gets cut short because oil barons want to keep the oil that's in the Middle East. They want to own it. That way they can be even more rich.
And you see,
but yes, us investing in green technology, despite the oil industry, is going to help us in the long run. That's how we do it, to improve the natural environment, because we need to study more of the green energy to make it more efficient, more prosperous, higher outputs, and lower input rates.
You see, you have Lee Zeldin, who has been named the head of the EPA, and he's already stated on day one when he comes in, he's going to deregulate the green energy. He's going to deregulate electric cars. He's going to deregulate the electric car mandate. And he said he's going to deregulate the electric cars to the point where they will not be allowed on the road.
Really? What about Teslas? And he froze again. I wasn't triggered. I was simply emphatically making a point. There's a difference. Me being triggered is me yelling and then all of a sudden the mic not being able to pick up that level of volume all at one point. Are you back now?
Yeah, I'm back now. Like a bitch. But yes, Swamp Rose, I do believe in climate change, and there are a lot of Republicans that think climate change is a hoax. Like,
yeah, see, and we differ a little bit on that, but keep going.
She goes, Robert, do you think the Canadian election system is fair? I don't know. I don't live in Canada.
We don't participate in Canadian politics all that much, eh?
Carl, when are we going to save the Colorado River?
When are we going to save the Colorado River? Well, that depends. When are you going to stop the planet from rotating? When are you going to be able to stop what has been called climate change that isn't what it actually is in context as far as Earth goes? You should pay attention. They are our closest neighbor. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm sure Robert has the time to research Canadian politics. I don't have the time to do that. I work too much. I'm a maintenance man, so I fix crap all day.
We are depleting it. Humans are destroying it. Colorado River. They overestimated how much water was there when they did the math wrong. It's a big problem.
Has anybody other than me heard of the rift that's forming on the continent of Africa?
Yes,
that's widening and deepening.
Yeah.
And at any point there could be a river flowing through there. Like something could break open and next thing you know it becomes a river. Or the innumerable little tributaries that are starting to form in the United States because the ground is starting to split open and trickles of water are starting to come down those rocks. The planet doesn't work on us on our time. It works on its own time. We merely happen to be on it.
Have you guys heard about the serial killer truck driver epidemic in the U.S.? It's the best. It's the best-selling book.
No, I haven't heard it. I haven't heard that in like 5 or 6 years. I heard about that right before COVID shut everything down, and yeah, I don't buy much into the serial killer stuff. Not because it's not real. I have my own wheelhouse I work in, and murders is not one of them. The last time I tried to follow a murder, nobody listened to me, so I said, screw it, I'm not doing that again. So,
do you believe in the death penalty, Carl?
Depending on the circumstances of the crime, yes, I do.
Yeah, same question. Robert, do
Yeah.
you believe in the death penalty? Yes, I do to a point. How if the crime is atrocious enough, then yes. But like that with that gentleman that was put to death and he was innocent, no, that was just wrong on all levels.
You see, I have no idea what you're talking about, nor do I want to. You guys keep that between you. And what question did I miss? I'm just asking. She said I missed one. I want to make sure I cover the question. I don't recall missing a question, but sure. Oh, the rolling eyes thing. That's priceless. I don't recall missing a question, but I'm going to take a look-see here just to see. And
Hold on, I got to think of some questions. Hold on.
you got to think of some questions. Man, this is nothing like it was 6 years ago when I was doing this.
What?
Well, when people would try to rapid fire shit at me, my favorite song, usually my top song changes by my music taste, but one song that I really enjoy is a song by Rod Stewart. Let me see if I can find the name of it really fast. Give me 2.5 seconds here.
Kiki says I'm Robert's mod. Yeah, she's a mod on my channel.
I don't concentrate on who's mod for what. I don't have moderators. I just do all the work myself.
I mean, I have a lot of different songs, but I think my favorite song has got to be called "Gothic Tenement Blues" from The Crow.
Do what?
Called "Gothic Tenement Blues" from The Crow.
I love it when you speak right as I'm talking. My favorite song has been for a while "Rhythm of My Heart" by Rod Stewart, and you said yours was what from The Crow?
Called "Gothic Tenement Blues."
Okay, wasn't it like a country song at one point?
No. I am city, I am the park, I am glow of the motherfucking dark. It's when he's sitting on top of that sign with the guitar right before he goes to the Fun Boys room.
Are we talking about the new Crow or the old Crow?
The old Crow. The original Crow.
I haven't watched that in 15, 20 years.
I watched it last night on free to watch on Busy.
I was busy watching Billions and then Yellowstone with the wife. So, okay, those are deep songs. Another song I just got into, which is really badass, is let me look it up real fast here. I have that much music. I actually have to look up the names of the songs because I just downloaded like 6 songs yesterday.
What do I think of our Second Amendment rights? Do you feel like they're being eroded?
Oh, buddy, you better be ready for that slope because you just fucking pitched it, boy.
No, I don't feel like they're being eroded. At the same time, you got to think that it states a well-regulated militia, but a well-regulated militia is the military.
Okay, question for you.
Yeah.
What's by government definition? What's a well-regulated militia?
The military.
What constitutes the military? Yeah, I'm gonna put you to task. I already know what it is because I did a podcast on this before COVID even happened.
Well, you got another question too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna address
same question on you about the Second Amendment.
Okay. First of all, if I may, I'm going to take the reins on this one for just a second. As far as our Second Amendment rights, they're not being eroded away. They introducing common sense gun regulation and ownership isn't eroding away your rights. It's literally making gun owners more responsible than they are currently being held to be currently. And according to the Second Amendment, a well-organized militia would be Coast Guard or National Guard. That's what it describes. And yes, I have read the Dick Act that clearly defined that. And if you're saying anything else, then you might be listening to the wrong people. But I'm literally going by the Constitution, nothing else. You can disagree with me if you want. I got a lot of people who disagree with me. I don't care that you disagree. You're allowed to have your own opinion. Bob and me disagree about several things, like all the time. And yeah, he's allowed to have his opinion. I'm allowed to have mine. I base mine off of what is stated in the writing of the Constitution. And then let's see here. The First Amendment, I'm trying to remember which one that is. It's like freedom of speech, freedom of the press, all that nonsense. That isn't being stomped on. But you're also not. But it also needs to be stated that you shouldn't be posting malicious misinformation and flat out lies.
Yeah.
And the Dick Act, just to go back to her conversational piece, they didn't have the militia back in the founding fathers' days was in a way a kind of a Coast Guard, if you will, or National Guardsmen. And the Dick Act literally clearly defined that, because everybody who's a Second Amendment gun nut who can't get hard without a gun ends up telling me that the Dick Act clearly explains that we're all allowed to carry weapons and that a well-regulated militia can be a loosely banded thing. No, that's an unregulated militia. Anybody who's of service age from 18 to in their 50s or some crap, that's they're carrying weapons and playing a soldier. That is an unregulated militia. A well-regulated militia happens to be run by the government. That's literally how it's defined. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just explaining it to you.
She says, Carl, they didn't have the National Guard when the militia saved this country. I think she's talking about the North and the South. You know, the Union and the Confederates.
That makes no sense. That was an internal war. During the Revolutionary era, is when we would have relied more on militiamen or a National Guardsman to be defending our rights as how we pronounce them. You'd have to go look. Somebody knocked on the door. I don't know who.
Robert, same question about the First Amendment. I mean,
and I don't take offense. Hold on, I don't take offense to you having a disagreement with what I'm saying. I'm literally just telling you what's going on.
Huh? You have to call Haley.
You know, here's the thing about the First Amendment, about freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
We have freedom of speech, but hate speech is not protected speech.
You have to get a hold of Haley first.
Yeah, when you threaten somebody, that's not protected speech. But you have the MAGA Republicans are trying to say that it's protected speech when it's not.
Okay, now she said, Swamp Rose said she was definitely talking about the Revolutionary War, not North and South, because North and South is more of an internal problem. When you're talking about when the Constitution was coming together and getting all that, we were in the Revolutionary War, in which case we were recognizing ourselves as a nation and our militia back then, because we were breaking the law of law of England. Yeah. They were the National Guard. They were illegal, but they were the National Guard.
She says, think the Minuteman.
I know I am. That's the brilliant part. Hold on a second. I got to mute my mic for just a second, all right? If I can get my damn mouse to work.
Oh no, Swampy's trying to answer your question the best he can.
Okay, sorry, I had to ask wife a question. Somebody came knocking on the door to want me to fix something. I was like, yeah, you got to contact my boss, and then they'll tell me to come over. I'm completely two different terms. Google the term militia. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the fact that you're asking me to Google militia. I have dictionaries up on my bookshelf. It's 5 foot away from me. It depends on what era dictionary you're talking about, because we can go as sharp as you want to go. You can copy and paste whatever the hell you want. I can tell you right away if it's going to be in the actual definition or not. I know what militia means. And you're taking a word out of context of the sentence in which it's being used.
Quote, militia is a group of citizens who are trained in military service to be called to active duty in an emergency.
Actually, a group of citizens who are trained in military service and can be called to active duty in an emergency when they're not in the military is an unregulated militia. I actually had to look all this up in a Second Amendment debate I had on my podcast years ago. Like when I started,
it's not soldiers.
Citizens who have military service training is the definition of a serviceman. Like, I've actually had to do this argument before, so I'm not... if you want me to pull out a dictionary, I can. I have dictionaries from different parts of history. I got a dictionary from 1998. And I used to have a dictionary from, like, 1952. Let me tell you, there are a lot of terms we don't have anymore. And that dictionary was this damn thick. Like, no crap, 4 inches thick. And it covered almost as much as a encyclopedia. But a military is a group of a militia, and this is just a broad definition of militia, because the syntax and grammar of our Constitution does not say the dictionary definition of what a militia is. They actually outline it in English, in language that you can look up. If you take if you take all the words together in context, they explain what a well-regulated militia versus a non-regulated militia is. These are the points of contention that most people who are Second Amendment purists often forget, is that the words have to be taken in. I've heard a million people tell me that a militia means this, that, and the other, different dictionary definitions, but they're not getting it right. They're looking up words. They're looking up singular words, not in context of what the sentence is saying, right?
Right.
But, you know, I'm not saying you can't have your opinion. I'm literally only translating what the words say in context of their usage in that sentence. That's it. You can have your opinion and say I'm wrong. I don't care. It's all good. You have an opinion. Yay! It's all good. But this is one of those things where I've had, I think, 3 different podcasts just on the Second Amendment and the Dick Act.
She says, "Be right back."
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not that worried about it. But yeah, you already know I've done the research on that because that was one of my more spicy podcasts, is arguing the Second Amendment with people, and apparently they all came with a bunch of guns and no bullets.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had friends and relatives telling me, well, the right to bear arms, and then I went on a tirade for like 15 minutes, and at the end, they're like, well, that's not what I believe. It doesn't matter what you believe. It matters what it says in context of the sentence, of the words.
Yeah.
If you take each word and take it by its definition from the dictionary, it translates into some weird word soup shit or word salad shit. If you take those words in context of how they were written, how they were meant, holy crap, does it explain things. But a lot of people I know a lot of guys who have IM'd me after those podcasts, telling me they can't do certain things unless they have guns and fire them.
Now, here's a question for you. Why do you think that Kamala lost the election?
There's a wide variety of things. Number one, she came in too late. Joe Biden left too late. Two, her refusing to do shows. She should have been the social media and TV or interview whore that Donald Trump was.
Now, do you know she was originally invited on Joe Rogan's podcast and she turned it down?
Did you know she was invited on Dr. Phil's podcast and turned it down? And I know why she turned that one down.
Yeah. Well, why did she turn that one down? Because he's misogynist.
Who, Dr. Phil?
Yeah.
No, he's right wing. He claims that he is. He claimed that for decades that he doesn't do politics in public, and then he backs Trump. And everybody who is on Trump's team or going to Trump's team were pointing out these wild fucking conservative theories.
Yeah.
That have already been wildly debunked. They've been firmly, soundly, and meteorically, like the dinosaurs being fucking pushed to extinction through a meteorite. They were debunked that hard, and people are still, no, this is true. No, you were told it's true. It doesn't mean it is true. Do your own research.
Yeah, and Joe Rogan stated that he cannot figure out exactly why Kamala refused to come on the show, because he is viewed by 34 million people. And
usually young men who are dumber than rocks.
Yeah.
Like, when Trump did the Joe Rogan experience, literally they were doing exit polling after people had voted and left, and almost all of the young men, like Gen Zers and crap, were telling the interviewers, oh, because I saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast. You go off of one damn interview and you're okay with voting for this vacuous gas bag? I mean, come on.
No, here's something behind that too. Barron Trump, he was the one behind the scenes pulling the strings for getting the Joe Rogan interview set up, getting all the shows that he went on. And Barron Trump was even the one that pulled the strings to get him on the Undertaker's 6 Feet Deep podcast.
Again, going back to the original point of why Kamala Harris didn't win the vote, it's also because of conservative dissemination, and disinformation that they've ingested and willingly absorbed, because they're afraid of things changing any other way. Like I would, if you were watching at the beginning when I was doing this particular live stream solo.
Yeah.
Where were we 4 years ago?
COVID lockdown.
Yeah. So prices were low because you couldn't go to work unless you were an essential worker. And I think what we really learned out of that was that all of us are essential workers.
Hey, don't forget the toilet paper gate.
Yes, the toilet paper debacle for an issue that affected your lungs, not your shit, not your fucking digestive system. The science behind that made no sense, and all these people are like, well, we need toilet paper for what? COVID is more of a respiratory thing than anything else.
Yeah, I think what they were wanting to do was like pour the toilet paper and sell it for outrageous prices.
They did. Did you not go on eBay or Craigslist during the shutdown?
Yeah.
There were people who were buying a roll of toilet paper for $20 fucking. One roll of shitty toilet paper. One ply.
Damn.
Yeah. Somebody was selling 3-ply toilet paper. They were selling that $100 a roll. It took them 3 months of chasing them to find those people and track them down, and then shut the account down because, yeah, you're selling toilet paper for $100 a roll because it's 3-ply. Get out of here. But yeah, when people are like, "Well, we're better," we're not. I was better off 4 years. No, you weren't. You're delusional if you think you were better off 4 years ago during shutdown. Well, gas prices were cheap because nobody could go anywhere.
Yeah, and you got Tom Homan stating now that they're going to start with the criminal illegals that have pending deportation orders on them, which is 700,000, and then they're going to go to the rest. And by the way he was talking, somebody's undocumented grandma could get fucking deported.
Yeah, well, what really
you do have blue states, that are telling him, if you want my people, you're gonna have to come through me, and that's all the blue states, including Gavin Newsom and J.B. Pritzker, that one governor up in New York. They're all stating that they're going to block this deportation.
Well, what I find odd about all that, about this mass deportation thing, is you've got people who are, wow, that's going to be a flag. You're going to have people who are pissed off because, well, they came here and they brought their parents here so that their parents could live so their parents could live out what little few years they have remaining in peace, because they didn't want them in war-torn countries. It's like, so come here legally. That takes too long. Well, my parents aren't going to live there. Well, then they've lived there their entire life. Your country's been in turmoil for decades. Your parents have lived through it. If you want to end the conflict, you guys have to take up arms in your own fucking country and do your own thing. Yeah, moving here isn't going to end the conflict in your country.
Yeah, Tom Homan stated, if you want to come here legally, come through the points of entry. We don't have a problem if you come here legally. We have a problem if you come here illegally because you've broken the law.
Yeah, but you also got to figure some of them don't want to do that, even though doing that's literally like a very easy process. But it's mainly because, well, they want to live in peace. Well, our peace isn't free. Yeah. Like everybody, I meet all these refugees, especially the ones that live around me. They're like, you don't know what freedom is. Like, yes, I did. Do you know freedom isn't free? I've known that since I was a small child. Our people who serve in uniform pay for our freedoms, period.
Yep.
And without them, one of us citizens has to die. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I'm just saying they pay that for us.
Yeah.
So when they tell us that freedom, that we don't understand freedom, is like, no, there's a lot of people here who take their freedoms for granted. I get that. Taking nothing away from that. But saying that none of us know what our freedom costs, we don't know what real freedom is, like, yeah, we do. We exercise. Those of us who know and understand it, exercise it.
Yeah.
Those who don't, those are the ones on TikTok saying, you shouldn't be allowed to do this or say this or anything like that to anybody. No, freedom of expression. I get that. Like when you call somebody by their presenting pronouns, if you will, calling somebody with long hair who has a beard, hey dude, what's going on? I'm a woman. No.
Yeah.
What you are is the lead singer from Soundgarden who thinks he's now a female. It's not going to happen. Chris Cornell, I think it was.
No, he's dead, dude. Chris Cornell died back in 2017.
Who do you think started Soundgarden, dumbass?
Yeah, he's dead. He died back in 2017.
You're not disproving my point.
Well, I know who Chris Cornell is, and I know he died in 2017.
And he also started Soundgarden.
Yes, but
You're not disproving my point.
No, I'm not disproving your point. I'm just stating that he took his own life back in 2017.
And?
Right after Chester Bennington did.
No. You can look up whatever you want. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I mean, what's sad is I remember, I think this is a Mandela effect thing right there. I remember them reporting Chris Cornell's death back in like 2000.
No, he died in 2017.
You're not listening to me. I said
he died in 2000 when he died in 2017.
You figured that one out. It was all over MTV.
Wow.
Like, literally, I recall, what is it? What's his name? I'm trying to think of the fucker's name. Carson Daly? No, this is after Kurt Loder. Kurt Loder stopped being a correspondent back in like 1999.
Kurt Loder was the best, though.
I'm not saying that, but I'm sticking on point. Shit, what was his name again?
Carson Daly?
Yeah, Carson Daly actually came on the air and was almost crying when he reported that Chris Cornell died. Like, I clearly remember that. I have other people, I've looked it up on YouTube, and other people remember him dying too. And then all of a sudden, for him to die in 2017, it's like, did they like bring a different universal version of Chris Cornell into this universe? Because we all remember him dying and it being reported on MTV, and MTV went fucking psycho crazy. They played Black Hole Sun 6 times in a row.
Wow.
As a tribute to him. They also spent an entire day doing every song he was ever a part of on MTV, back when they were still music TV. That's why when I looked it up, and he did it. That's not possible. He died. Like, how does a guy who dies in 2000 come back and live for 17 more years?
Yeah.
But apparently only a few of us remember him dying back then. And yeah, then we're like, well, no, this was had. You tell me why they reported him dead. And apparently somebody else found the footage of Carson Daly announcing him dead, and the next day, YouTube deleted the video. They erased it from YouTube.
Wow.
So, Mandela effect. Like,
wow.
Just like the Fruit of the Loom thing, where they say the cornucopia, the Horn of Plenty, was never a part of their logo. Now there's proof on YouTube that it actually did exist. They're trying to change history. Just like I used to have the video where Trump said that he would become Republican because those people are so stupid they'll buy anything. I go back afterwards, like several years later, and they've erased that video from YouTube.
Wow.
When they scrub the internet for certain information, they scrub it down to the core. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Swamp Rose has been gone a minute. Just errantly pointing that out. But yeah, when I heard about Chris I've been under the impression up until recently that Chris Cornell's been dead for years because he wasn't making any more music. Because, death kind of keeps you from making music.
Yeah, I was living in Missouri back in 2017, and I was working for a Love's Truck Stop. And I went into work one night, and somebody said, "Hey, did you hear the news?" I'm like, "What news?" And they pulled it up. Chris Cornell's obituary, and I'm like, "Well, when did he die?" And they're like, "Well, a couple of days ago." This was back in 2017. He committed suicide.
Okay, now we've got more questions to answer. Let me check the score on my game really quick. Yay, we're winning against the Bears.
Three Thanksgiving foods are turkey, ham, and mashed potatoes.
Take it away.
I just said turkey, ham, and mashed potatoes.
3 dishes that are my Thanksgiving foods. Let's see. My infamous beer turkey. Sweet potato mash with white gravy. And then my wife's green bean casserole cups.
Hey, hold on a minute. We're back.
That's why I muted the mic when I had to do something.
Somebody wants me to make her pizza rolls.
Hence why you mute the mic. Let's see. Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. If you're talking to somebody you know is Christian, probably Merry Christmas. Or if it's on Christmas Day or day before, Merry Christmas. Other than that, I usually go with Happy Holidays because there are a lot of different religions that have they have special times during the holiday season for all of us. And
I had Daddy to be sorry.
Give me your thoughts on jerry-rigging voting blocks. I'm trying to remember what a voting block is.
What the fuck is tofu key?
What? Oh, tofurkey. It's tofurkey. What do I think of tofurkey? I haven't had it. I'm not looking forward to even trying that because that's a mixture of tofu stuffed turkey or some weird thing like that. I'm not sure.
Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays.
Oh, not gerrymandering, gerrymandering. When you rewrite the lines in your district, that's called gerrymandering. Okay, I can work with that. I think it's wrong. I think that they've got instances of that where it's horrible, and I think that gerrymandering should be illegal because you're literally just going to fish out those who politically align with you at the moment.
Personally, I don't say Happy Holidays. I say Merry Christmas.
You say Merry Christmas?
Yes.
Oh, aren't you just so straight-laced and conservative? Would you say that to somebody who's Indian?
Yeah,
like Indian?
Yeah. Carl, I know you've answered this question in the past, but can you please elaborate? What do you think the corporate tax rate should be in the U.S.? I think it should be.
Corporate tax rate in the United States should be at least 29%. At least. Anybody who's a billionaire should have to pay at least 59% of the 59% taxes. What did you say now, Robert? What were you whispering?
Yeah, I said personally, I think it should be at least 25 or 26.
Well, that's what I said. I think the corporate tax should be like 29% at least.
Yeah.
And for private citizens like Elon Musk who make billions, dude, 59%. And if he says they're being taxed too much, you made billions. Shut up and pay your taxes.
Yeah.
If you don't want to stay rich, well, everybody else wants to get rich too.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos made the comment. I'm so glad the grown folks are coming back to the White House to extend the Trump tax cuts.
Okay, if the corporation, if the corporate tax is so high, how do you keep corporations in the U.S. and not going to other countries? You don't. They made a choice to be in business. If they choose not to pay their fair share in taxes, then they'll have to stay in another country and not have the same setup they have here. And then you set up a reverse tariff. That way you're taxing the shit out of the country supporting those multi-billion-dollar companies before the goods even get on the boat. You tax it to the point you tax them with those reverse tariffs so that they can't come up with anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
If she says exactly, then what do you do to make up for the tax base you just lost by raising the corporate tax rate? You can't just do that retroactively. Elon Musk didn't pay a dime, didn't pay a penny in taxes, and hasn't paid a penny in taxes for quite a while. All these ultra wealthy people don't pay taxes. They pay less than 1% of the taxes on the money they've earned because they're keeping their money in motion with venture capitalism. If they're not paying taxes, why and then they threaten to leave you because they finally have to pay a tax? What the fuck's the difference? You're not losing revenue. You're not losing what you don't get to begin with. But his corporations do.
You tax the person, then you tax the corporation if you have to, because they're trying to run the skirt on the taxes. You reverse tariff the country that they're in. And at some point, well, we'll just say if we're the largest consumer of that product by far, and we are for a lot of countries, if you tariff the country, you fuck them out of having an incentive to have the billionaires there.
She says you're not understanding. Most small businesses are sole proprietors or LLCs. They're corporations.
So Tesla is a small corporation.
No, it's not.
Trump, the Trump organization, is a small business. The WWE is a small business. Amazon is a small business, as it's being defined right here, right? I'm just trying to clarify what we're talking about, because if you're going to say, if these people get taxed, they're going to leave. These people are billionaires. They're richer than we'll ever see any amount of money in our lifetime. So if you want to tax them, you have to either tax the country they moved to, or the country in which they have their business coming out of, or you have to tax them personally.
6% of the jobs in this country come from small businesses.
I don't think we're talking about the same thing here, Swamp Rose. You're talking about small businesses and not billionaires. The billionaires aren't small companies. They have thousands of employees. And they pay hideously small amounts of taxes, if they pay taxes at all. So claiming that Jeff Bezos runs a small business like Amazon or any other business he has is a bullshit point. It's a moot point. He's a billionaire. Trump does not employ 13 people and then run an entire corporation. He has thousands of people working for him.
small businesses, most of them are sole proprietor LLCs. They are corporations, not necessarily a small. I mean, if they become a corporation over time, but if you're starting out as like an LLC, which is not a corporation, it's a small business, and you have to put up your credit score to get the LLC up and running. So which means when that happens, if something goes bad in your business, the people don't come back on the LLC, they come back on you.
Now, what I'd love to know is why.
I know, Kiki. She goes, I'm just trying to pump up your chat.
I get that. I'm just trying to get we're talking about tax breaks for billionaires, and somehow it's translating to small businesses. Small businesses don't make billions of dollars. They require a lot of people to make a lot of money, and the people at the top make the money.
The most small businesses make is anything under 400,000.
Anything under, I would say anything under $5 million a year would be considered a small business. Like presuming if you're like getting paid the going rate, like if you're a longshoreman and you own a small moving company where you have employees, but yet you work your main job because you make $65 an hour doing that, and your moving company makes like $300 an hour, but you're also paying for the trucks, maintenance, upkeep, all the business expenses of that. That would be considered a small business. You can still make $5 million a year and still be a mom and pop business. But if you're like Trump and have thousands of people working for you, and you're a billionaire, you're not a small business at that point. You're making 100 million. You're making like how many billions or millions of dollars you are a year. So I get that, but it's the definition of business of what you're talking about that matters, does it not?
Oh, Donald Trump Jr. is talking about coming into the administration.
So who's left running Trump Enterprises?
If you remember, Letitia James pretty much had Trump Tower shut down, and he's not allowed to do any type of business in.
Oh, and Letitia James probably won't have a job after Trump gets in the White House again. Because I'm sure as shit he'll fucking put her out on her ass because, well, she wants to end my administration. Dude, more than half of the country wants to end your administration. What do I think of Ivanka Trump? That's his daughter. If I were her, I'd back off for a good 10 years from politics. Period. Stay the hell away from it. Then after the stink of Trump has left, then you come in and try to make a play for something.
What do you think of Nancy Pelosi? And what do you think about J.D. Vance?
The what?
What do you think about Nancy Pelosi and what do you think about J.D. Vance?
Well, hold on. I'm going to Nancy Pelosi first. Nancy Pelosi, I think she should have retired already a long time ago. And she's just like Mitch McConnell. She's just accumulating power and wants to still show that she can flex her political muscles, which makes no sense. Your take?
Yeah, same here. I mean, Mitch McConnell, I guess, is retiring. So you have John Thune, who has taken over as Senate Majority Leader. But you also have Susan Collins and I forgot what Murkowski, whatever the fuck her name is. They've already said that they're going to be going against Matt Gaetz because they don't think he's a competent and qualified person for the Attorney General's position.
Okay. What do you think of J.D. Vance?
Personally, I think he's a pompous asshole.
Okay. I think he's a flip-flopping pancake-like political bitch. But that's only my opinion. I don't like J.D. Vance. He's literally just a spin doctor. And when Dr. Phil was covering the vice presidential debate, they made sure to only attack Walls during that debate. They didn't look at anything J.D. Vance said or did as bad. They said it was nice, cool, confident. It's like, no, it's not. He's full of shit. The fact that you believe him tells me where you stand politically, Dr. Phil. Okay.
Yeah. Now, have you heard about the Georgia Guidestones? Somebody blew up the Georgia Guidestones.
I'm not going to worry about that. I'm worried about getting through these questions that keep getting thrown out.
Carl, are UFOs from outer space? Are they homegrown on Earth? Robertson question.
Hold on. Slow your roll here. I'm going question by question here. How long do you think it'll take to build the wall? I don't know, but we've already paid for it. Literally, our money was already wasted on building a fucking useless wall. So I don't know how long it'll take, but we paid for it. We either fucking tear down the rest of it and melt it for scrap. That way it can be reused instead of rusting to nothing. Okay. Now, UFOs are from outer space. Are they homegrown on Earth? You're being asked the same question. Well, UFOs, you care to take your slant at this?
Well, they got to be from outer space, because a lot of our astronauts see them flying around our planet, flying around in space. So I don't think that they're homegrown. Now, do I feel that the government has kind of reverse engineered some of the fighter jets we have now off of Canadian tech? Yes. Like the B-2 bomber, like the F-117A stealth fighter. I think that those have been reverse engineered off of alien design, alien craft design.
Yeah, I'm not going to bite into the apple too much. I'm going to say that UFOs, as we see them in the videos that the military has released or that somebody has managed to get, those are not homegrown because we do not have anything that works at, like, you can't go from Mach 3 in one direction and then do a 1 degree turn, do a 180 degree turn or even a 160 degree turn on a dime. No aircraft we have can do that. Like, they're going at Mach 3 and they switch position and fly away twice as. We don't have technology that does that.
No.
So I'm going to say outer space. We're still working on other technologies. Have either of you seen quicksand? I don't think it's. I have actually seen quicksand. I've seen it. I have seen it when I was in the Scouts and learned how to do everything with that. Why did they blow up the Georgia Guidestones, Robert?
There's a lot of people that believe the Georgia Guidestones are satanic because of what is stated on some of the Guidestones, like keeping humanity under 500 million, and to be more in tune with nature. They want people to be kept under 500 million. So naturally, you have some evangelical Christians who think that's satanic, and they did catch a picture of the car that was speeding away from the Georgia Guidestones detonation, but they still haven't found the person that did it.
Yeah, I'd have to research the Georgia Guidestones again, but I'm going to move on to the next question. Let's see. Have we seen quicksand, the Georgia Stones? Will Mexico pay for some of the wall? Not at all. We've already paid for the whole thing. We paid. They literally allocated money for the entire thing, and our government almost shut down because of it. When they finally got the wall financed and paid for, they did all the work getting it to where the wall was supposed to be built up, and just left it there. So Mexico isn't paying for shit. Blood diamonds or lab-grown diamonds. Lab-grown diamonds here. Blood diamonds are illegal in the world, actually.
Now, what are blood diamonds?
Blood diamonds are diamonds that have been harvested in war-torn countries for diamonds.
Oh, wow.
Like, you've heard of the African blood diamonds, right?
Yes.
That were harvested by people who were slaves to whoever was owning the mine.
Yeah.
That's a blood diamond. It's like a conflict diamond. There's too much blood on that diamond for it to be worth anything, because a human died discovering it because somebody else wanted the diamond for themselves. That's why I'm not really a huge diamond guy, because, yeah, De Beers and other companies are controlling the diamond market. Okay, I waver back and forth about the UFOs, but I like your answer. I've considered it too, Robert. Do you think the Menendez brothers should be let out of prison? No, I don't. I do not think it is right for them to be let out of prison. They grew up in a wealthy household. I don't buy the shit of, well, we were tortured as younger people. You grew up. You were adults when you killed your parents. Yeah, done. Robert, do you think it was disrespectful for Jake Paul to ask Tyson to fight?
I don't think it was Jake Paul who asked Tyson to fight, because I think Jake Paul made some kind of derogatory comment about Mike Tyson's daughter, or his late daughter. So Mike Tyson challenged him to a fight. But personally, I was disappointed with the outcome of the fight. I really was. Yeah. We all think, even growing up, bro, we all think, Iron Mike Tyson. Yeah, he beat everybody when we were growing up. In that fight that night, he didn't even look like he had trained at all. His age had caught up to him.
I know I disagree with that, but I'm going to mute my mic for a second so I can go relieve myself. I'll be right back. It's going to take me like 30 seconds, I think.
Now, that's a great question about the pyramids, Kiki. I'll let Carl answer that when he gets back. I don't know. I mean, coffee's bad for you or not. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I've drank coffee. I've drank caramel macchiatos. I've drank cappuccino. But seriously, coffee has caffeine in it, and it's all it does is hype you up. You got asked, Carl, who built the Great Pyramids, do they have another purpose other than being at the...
Okay, first of all, I don't think coffee is good for you. I can't drink coffee anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I think, because I don't imbibe it. I've had coffee twice in my life. Those weren't fun experiences because I just catatonically passed the fuck out. Like, one of the times I was in jail many moons ago, I drank a small cup of coffee with breakfast, and 6 hours later, I got woken up because for some reason it took 8 people to carry me out of the jail cell into the pit while they cleaned the cell, and then carry me back and put me back in the cell. 6 people. I weighed 130 pounds at that time. How it took 8 people to lift me out of that cell is beyond me. But anyway, I don't believe coffee is good for you, but enough people drink it because they're drug addicts. Well, caffeine is a legal drug, but then who built the Great Pyramids? That's a loaded question. It sounds like an ancient aliens question. I believe it was partially built by man and partially built by other beings, is the best way I can say that. Do they have a purpose other than being a monument? Back when they were built, they served 2 or 3 different purposes. Landmarks, astrological significance, there were a butt ton. Do you believe what about you in the Great Pyramids there, Bucko?
Yes, I do watch Ancient Aliens once in a while on TV. It boggles your mind how us as primitive humans back in the ancient Egyptian days would be able to not only design but build all the pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid in Egypt and the surrounding pyramids. They're in Luxor. Yeah, it just makes you wonder if there wasn't something otherworldly guiding them.
Like I said, it sounds kind of ancient alienish to go towards that kind of loaded question. Given the fact that I studied all that stuff way back in the day, most of the stuff that's going to be brought up, I've already studied a lot. Okay, and now we go. Do I believe in Nessie, the Loch Ness monster? Yeah, I don't know if there's a cryptid living in Loch Ness, but if there is, it's an interesting story considering they have found nothing in there. They've already done radar scans, all kinds of stuff. Nothing there. I realize that people say there's this massive underground cave system that it lives in, but they haven't found a cave system there yet. Robert, do you think Atlantis? Where do you think Atlantis is located?
I honestly do not know.
You haven't done your history book, have you?
No, when I was younger, I was fascinated with Atlantis, and now I just kind of wonder exactly where the fuck it is, or where the fuck it was, or if it was even real.
Well, I have to say, I think it's real. I think it was a real location, but history from that far back is so fucking fuzzy that, like, there's the sunk city of Alexandria that some people would tell you they swear is Atlantis. It's not Atlantis. Atlantis, I thought for the longest time Atlantis was in the Mediterranean because I didn't understand language. Then in my 20s, I went through some studying and found out that the Pillars of Gibraltar or whatever, the Pillars of Hercules was the exit way going out to the ocean towards Atlantis. I had to look some stuff up and learn some stuff, but yeah. I think Atlantis was a place. The problem is everybody wants to be the first one to find it. They want to be the one who correctly identifies it. The problem is the timeline, because Atlantis, according to all the historical notes we have, Atlantis ceased to exist when the Egyptians were getting up and coming as a civilization. That tells you how many thousands of years ago that was.
My favorite book is The Runaway Jury.
Of course, it sounds like a corny book filled with a lot of weird stuff. My favorite book, shit. Right now, my favorite book has got to be probably Origins by Dan Brown.
John Grisham wrote Runaway Jury. So, yeah, and it's kind of weird. You have the movie that has John Cusack in it. It's based on a gun company being sued, but in the book, it's a tobacco company being sued.
Okay, now I'm caught up on the comments, I believe. How was your day? I don't know what the new comments about. I'm going to guess that's...
What were your 3 top cartoons as a child? Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Thundercats.
Thundercats. Ho!
Thundercats. Oh!
Let's see. Do I believe the Sahara Desert was once an ocean? No, I believe there were oceans. There might have been oceans or lakes or streams in it. As far as I can tell from all the evidence over the past 30 years, since I was like 10, I started researching that. And only in the last 10 years have I found definitive evidence that it wasn't an ocean. It used to be a lush paradise. Hence, when everybody talks about, well, the Sahara Desert used to be the Garden of Eden, there's actually credence to that. But I don't believe the Sahara Desert was an ocean unless you're talking about prehistoric times like the dinosaurs, maybe. But other than that, no.
Robert, do you believe there was a great flood in our world history that described in ancient texts? Yeah, I do believe that the entire world was flooded because if you look at certain high rocks and stuff like that, they do have sediment on them from what looks like the water that was over them and eventually being drained away. Carl, why did you think there's liquid mercury stored on inside of Mexico? Oh, wait, no. Carl, do you think tolls on the highways are a good way for a city to raise revenue?
They can be, based on the amount of traffic that goes through them. Who's coming over now?
George.
I think that they can be as long as they're done effectively and the tolls aren't too pricey. I mean, if you're taking it commercially because you're driving a business truck or whatever, then yeah, absolutely, it could be a great way to raise revenue because the more heavy traffic goes through there like that, the more it damages the road in the long run. Now, do I think there's liquid mercury stored inside the pyramids in Mexico? I don't know about that one, but I do know they found a tomb in China or Japan that they're afraid to open because of the mercury that was used in the tomb. Okay, your answer to that question?
Yeah. Same thing. I was watching this show last night called Blind Frog Ranch. And it's a ranch up in Utah, and they're looking for Aztec gold, and they believe that Aztecs came up from Mexico and brought gold and put it in a cave.
Into Utah?
Yeah.
Utah's more for turquoise.
Yeah. Yeah, they're thinking that the Aztecs brought their gold and their plunder up and hid it in a cave up in Utah.
No, that's not. If you read your history, you'll understand the reason the Aztecs died out as quickly as they did with very little left behind. Because the conquistadors came over with a bunch of fucking illnesses and killed off most of their people.
Okay, do you believe that there is any truth to the Bigfoot sighting? And if not, how do you explain entire rooms full of people raising their hands when asked if they've ever seen a Bigfoot?
You go first because mine's going to be a Neil deGrasse Tyson answer.
Naturally. I've never seen one. I mean, when I was a kid, I saw a gigantic footprint in
Did he just come by or something?
My grandparents' backyard, but other than that, I've never actually seen one.
I have to stand with Neil deGrasse Tyson because he gave the best answer ever that I've ever heard for Bigfoot sightings. For all these people claiming they found Bigfoot sightings, we've got these things that have these weird cameras on them, and for some reason, nobody can whip out their phone and take a good quality picture of it, no matter how good their camera quality is. They say they're standing 3 foot away from Bigfoot with their phone out and taking the picture. How come the picture always ends up blurry? Like every single time. They're literally standing there pressing the capture button without making a sound, and the photo comes out blurry every single time. So I can't say I'm going to buy into the whole Bigfoot thing. Do I believe there might be something out there? Yeah, but it's more likely to be in Nepal, like with Yeti.
Okay, how do you explain all fairy stories in Ireland?
Because that's Irish legend. Like being Irish, I can't really argue against it, but
Okay, what happened? Bye-bye. Yeah, Small busted the runaway jury. I like chocolate. I like dogs. Turtles for snakes. Snakes. Kyler Kendall. White rice. I've been to the ocean when I was 10. But pizza or steak? Cheese. Pizza. I don't know. I haven't been on a vacation in many years. I'm still up in. StreamYard shut down on Carl's side. But yeah, because it states in the Bible, Kiki, that God flooded the earth because all men were wicked. I would say in the city. I'd say the greatest country in the world is the U.S. of A. Now, American flag does not need to be updated. No, I don't think Gandhi faked his death. But I'm gonna get off here, Kiki. I might record a video later. Well, this was the Skeptical Scotsman. Y'all have a good day.